It is no longer news that the recent flooding across Nigeria increased to an alarming rate the number of internally displaced persons, IDPs, in the country before now were mostly found in areas characterized by insecurity. In a bid to give this group of persons a sense of belonging and the feeling that they are not alone in their present predicament, the Nigerian government declared today National Day for Internally Displaced Persons. As a matter of fact, the move is to also make them understand that government and the people of Nigeria still have their interest at heart as citizens of the country. Now, what were the activities that characterized the day, or how was the day celebrated? Do we have an accurate data of IDPs in Nigeria? What has the government done or is still doing to make life easier for internally displaced persons, especially now that the number increased as a result of the flood? Now, what are plans of government going forward? These are some of the questions that our guests shall be providing answers to in the course of the program. This is Nigeria Today, and our focus for discussion is on the Day for the Internally Displaced Persons. I am Lydia Odije-Ochi. Welcome to the program. With me in the studio is the Director, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, IDPs, Musa Mohammed Kangiwa. Glad to have you on the program, and thank you for coming.
Having me.
We appreciate you. Also in the studio with me is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Nation First Foundation, Elidad Onyanwa. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank
All
you.
right.
Yeah.
Now, let me start with Alhaji Kangiwa. Now, National Day for Internally Displaced Persons. What is the essence of the day?
Yeah, thank you very much. National IDPs Day is a day set aside by the federal government of Nigeria to commemorate the resilience of IDPs nationwide. Considering the fact that the issue of IDP is one too many in Nigeria, and hardly any family can dissociate itself with one particular IDP establishment or the other across the country. Now, for the federal government of Nigeria to make this group of vulnerable people realize that their position and their status is paramount in its affairs, the day was set aside and marked as National IDPs Day today.
All right. Now, Elidad, as someone who has been interfacing with IDPs, how would you describe their plight presently, and what do you think should be done in the short and long term that hasn't been done?
Yeah. What should be done at this moment is even more than what would have been done before now.
Okay.
The flood has come to add more problem to what they have been facing. Okay, the IDPs, like we all know them, no one wants to be an IDP. No one wants to be displaced until the natural disaster comes, or the war, or which of those other ways that makes it come to our people. Now, you say what should be done at this moment? Now, we need, it has now become a world problem. It has been affected by the whole world at the moment. The whole world has been affected by the flood. So there's nobody to say they are less privileged than us. Even the Western world can't say that at the moment, because almost everyone in the world now is displaced. Mostly in our nation, out of how many states of our nation, 36 states, we have more than 33 displaced now. Even our past president, the immediate past president, Goodluck Jonathan, is displaced in his own hometown. They can't go home now. So you see, it's not a sector thing. It's not the less privileged thing, like, so to say, those who don't have access to the basic things of life. Even the rich also is facing it at the moment.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. Now, Alhaji, what has been the role of government in ensuring the welfare of IDPs, and to what extent would you say they have been playing this role?
Yes, thank you very much. Like my brother rightly said, what we should be having at the back of our minds is that everybody has the potential of becoming an IDP. Therefore, the federal government of Nigeria have a genuine intention towards alleviating the problems of these IDPs. Like, if I will give you an example with my own agency, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, our mandate as regards to IDPs is durable solution.
Okay.
What is durable solution? The most important aspect of durable solution is to make sure that livelihoods are not truncated when displacement happened. What do? It's no issue of distributing food or distributing mattresses. No. We make sure that we have continuity of livelihoods. Livelihoods are not truncated. We make sure we train them. We train these people to become skillful. We make sure we train them to become useful to the environment. We make sure they don't feel like they are redundant or they are abandoned or something like that. So these are the issues of these are the issues we looked at in the recent past. My agency, National Commission for Refugees, engaged in so many skill training. Just of recent, there was a training in art and culture, area 10, what do you call it? Art and culture complex.
The cultural center.
Yes. 90 IDPs were trained on beads making, tailoring, photography, and what have you. After the training, they were also given starter packs to stay on their own and employ more people. Yes, to become employers of labor instead of being. It
didn't stop at them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So, just last September, in Zamfara State, again, an area they call Tsunami, an area within Gusau main town. There was this establishment of this clinic, health clinic, where we noticed IDPs is a large concentration of IDPs and a lot of health issues, so many things. So we decided to establish a clinic there, empower the health personnel there, and also equip the clinic, and conduct an assessment study of the health challenges of the IDPs around that area, so that we now divert our attention health-wise to such issues. Right. There is also a program the federal government undertake, which we call Educate All. This Educate All is what we do is we go to IDP's establishment, look at the primary schools IDP's children patronize. We now establish libraries. These libraries, we look at school curriculum of these children and equip these libraries with books. We try to inculcate reading culture in these children, so that at least our belief is that once small children are educated, there will be lasting peace.
Definitely, that's true.
There will be lasting peace. And once there is ignorance, there must be trouble.
There will be trouble.
So that is why we are beginning to nurture them when they are
young, so that they don't forget.
When they are young.
Okay, before I get to early dad, let's take a break. We'll be back to talk some more. Stay with us.
Thank you.
This is NTA News 24, broadcasting from Abuja. You can watch us anywhere, anytime on the following platforms:
Start Times, Channel 101, Freak TV, Channel 703, GSTV, Channel 419, and Core TV, channel 46.
For more information, log on to our website www.nta.ng or join us on our social media handles, Facebook at NTA News 24.
For comments, suggestions and inquiries, send an email to news24@nta.gov.ng or call us on the following numbers.
NTA News 24,
news and more news.
Welcome back. You're still watching Nigeria Today, and our focus today is on the National Day for Internally Displaced Persons. And we've been talking to the Director, IDPs, National Commissions for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Musa Mohammed Kangiwa, and the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Nation First Foundation, Elidad Onyanwa. Now, the number of internally displaced persons has increased seriously as a result of the flooding. Now, how has this affected the condition of their living, and what role should private organizations do now?
Yes, I love what you just asked. What should private organizations do?
Yes.
Like we all know, the government alone can handle this.
Yes.
It has gone out of hand, and it requires everybody to come in now and make sure we do something, because if we don't do something, it will now become a problem to the whole nation.
Yes.
Yes, like we know what social corporate responsibility is. It's not a performance of the government. That is a part of the corporate organizations to play. All right. So in this time, we now think that because the number of the IDPs has increased due to the issue of flooding in our nation, we don't know the number of IDPs anymore. Right? We can't at this time, because we don't know what happens next. All right. Now, the government is trying its best to see what they can do, but we also believe that there are some approaches that should be taken, like the approach of, after this time, I think the government, thank God, the director is here himself, and he's a good man who also listens quickly to the issue of the people. I know after now we'll discuss further, because we see that one of the approach we should take now is having a resettlement first for the people living in these areas. You can't take it away that every year or every point in time these things will come to happen again. If it happens, where do we keep our people? We take them to primary schools. So what happens to students who come to those schools?
When they go to school.
How do our mothers take care of themselves? Which we know mothers are used to privacy. The children who want to go to school, who want to learn. Okay, now, adding to what he said before, that they've done a lot by building capacities among these people. But we all know that these capacities, how can they be sustained?
Funding. And other areas that we look at to sustain these things too. There are some areas we should be training trainers who will go back there to become, like we have evangelism. In politics today, you see them, they say these are evangelists of a political party. Yes, why not have evangelism of economic development in our nation? All right, so I know from now onward, because the number have increased, and because our people are suffering, we are all suffering this. My grandparents in the village, they are all displaced. Oh my goodness.
My younger ones, they can't go to school anymore. And you know what this thing, like the vision of Nation First is to improve living standard of the vulnerable people and communities. Now the vulnerable people and communities at this point, what can you and I do to give them?
Not just private organizations, even individuals have a role to play, at least to help the private organizations and also assist the government, because like you said, the government cannot do everything. You know, you said something about knowing the number, having a number to work with. Without data, you cannot plan. So now, do you have an accurate number since this flooding started? Of course, you had data before the flood. Now, do you have data of internally displaced persons in Nigeria now?
You see, before the flood, the IOM matrix data was 3.2 million, but the number almost doubled by 40% when the
flood
starts. So it's somewhere around 5 million or so we are talking about now.
That's an estimate.
More.
Yes, an estimate. 5 million or more. An estimate. Because if you take Jigawa State alone, you will see the number of people displaced as a result of flood. Go to Bayelsa, go to Rivers, you will see Delta. You will see the people that are displayed in thousands.
Okay, now tell us, what's your modus operandi to ensure that all the states are covered in terms of supply of relief materials?
Thank you very much. There is a National Flood Committee established by the federal government of Nigeria, and Dangote is the popular Dangote, is the chairman. That National Flood Committee is seriously working, and as at the last Federal Executive Council meeting, I know they forwarded their submission to the federal government of Nigeria at the Federal Executive Council meeting, and I believe there is going to be an action plan that will cover the whole country response-wise as regards to the menace of that flood. Very soon. Yes.
Elidad.
Yes.
What do you think some private organizations should do to complement government efforts? And in the course of doing that, what are the challenges you face in the course of this, in the course of your work?
Okay. Like the popular word they say, charity begins at home. The individuals from their immediate constituencies can do a lot. If every one of us assume that we are 10 million privileged persons, and we take over one person that is less privileged to affect their lives positively, we automatically become 20 million, right?
Yes.
Then if we make them two per person, it's very simple.
Yes.
It's very simple. It's just that the advocacy is not that. So that is why we are coming in. Like I was trying to tell him that on the 23rd of this month, there's a CSR program coming up in Transcorp. In partnership with AMAC. AMAC is a pilot local government. You all know it's the #1 local government in Nigeria. So we're working seriously with AMAC to see how CSR is improved in Nigeria. If CSR is improved in Nigeria, all these issues we are talking about with private sectors, with individuals, they can easily handle it. They can easily, even without the government, it is easy. Every corporate organization should give back something to the host community. Every individual who have stayed in a place, like every one of us will pay our individual taxes. We should also be able to do something to one of those people behind our houses we call our gate man's children.
Being our brother's keeper. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, now, Alhaji, now how would you assess the relationship between federal and state government as well as local governments as far as the welfare of internally displaced persons is concerned?
The relationship between the tiers of government in the country is cordial, very, very cordial. Let me give you an example with Northeast, for instance. I believe you are aware that we have a Northeast Development Commission. This Northeast Development Commission is a federal government agency established just to put things in order in the Northeast sub-region where the insurgency crisis took place. The Northeast Development Commission is working in tandem with all the state government, all the state governors in the Northeast, and they have quite a number of things in common that borders on the humanitarian humanitarian issues. Now at the federal level, again, what we do is the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, we have direct contact with the State Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs again, and they also have state emergency management agencies at states. We also have information sharing and data sharing mechanism with all these agencies. Therefore, there is a complete transformation of information from federal government to state government, and the responses are always coordinated.
Okay. Now we know that times are hard,
Yes.
resources are scarce, even finance or funding could be an issue, especially for NGOs. Now, how do you surmount this challenge of funding, especially when it has to do with grants? How do you surmount this in the course of your work?
Okay, at this, like you rightly said, resources are very little at this time.
Yes.
You see, if you ask us, how are you now doing this? How is it coming to? How are you doing it? That is when you know Nigerians, they still love themselves. Nigerians, we love ourselves, because you see, there are some instances where they will call you for an emergency, a breakout of cholera, maybe in one of these IDPs, and you have to respond immediately. Okay. At that time, it's not a time to start seeking for grants.
Yes.
It's a time to respond to the outbreak. Then immediately, what are the mechanisms? We say, okay, let's make a post. What do we do? Creativity now comes in at that point. You know, that's where we like the trading thing he was saying. Like the people at this time, where everything is going technology. You know, everything is going technology. Like the at that instance, we'll now say, okay, let's make a post of what's going on. Maybe we'll quickly go to the site. We'll take the little we have immediately. We'll take a shot of what's happening. We'll post on our platforms. And people will just start putting on calls. Where's that happening? Please, can I assist? You see Nigerians coming up immediately.
Okay.
So these are some of the ways we have also been able to meet up with our people, apart from the also organizations who have also, like the Federal Ministry of Health, also in the health sector. Like he was saying, there's nothing you can do. You cannot face the health sector and leave out the educational sector.
Yes.
Because there's nothing you can teach a sick man.
It's true. He's thinking about his health.
And you cannot even leave out the area of the feeding, because an hungry man is already angry. You see. So we must do all of this together to have a tangible result.
All right. Well, I think the long and short of it is, like you said, we should all, every Nigerian should look out for the next person, especially in these difficult times.
Yes.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for coming on Nigeria Today. I want to appreciate you, the Director, IDPs, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Musa Mohammed Kangiwa. Thank you for your contributions.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you. And also the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Nation First Foundation, Elidad Onyanwa. We appreciate your presence.
Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you
having
so
me.
much.
Thank you.
And to you, our viewer, we appreciate you for being a part of this program always. The program airs weekdays 7:30 in the evenings, and you can also watch this episode and other ones at www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. Thank you for watching once again. I am Lydia Odijochi. We appreciate you always. See you next week. Goodbye.